Since we're talking about fantasy, it's time to remind you that isekai, the text-based RPG I developed, is dropping a new version this Saturday. Check it out at play.isekai.com. Bring in the magic, bring in the fantasy, bring in the harem. I mean, bring in some female companions, because here are 10 fantasy magic anime with an overpowered main character. Let's go. What better ways to kick things off? It's reincarnation time. Haruyoshi Kuga, the world's strongest exorcist, gets betrayed and murdered by jealous rivals. With his dying breath, he casts a reincarnation spell vowing to be smarter this time around. He's reborn as Seika Lamporog, the illegitimate child of a magic-obsessed noble family who couldn't care less about him. But Seika's unbothered. He's got centuries of occult knowledge, and he's quietly building alliances, testing his limits, and trying very hard to not repeat the political disaster that got him killed the first time. This show basically said, what if the isekai protagonist wasn't a loser, and ran with it? Seika is a 40-something mastermind wrapped in a teenager's body, so when girls develop crushes on him, he genuinely responds like a dad hearing his daughter describe her dream husband, completely unbothered. The supporting cast has actual goals beyond orbiting the MC, the antagonists have nuance, and the writing rewards you for paying attention. Slow start, but this anime absolutely delivers. Not all goddesses are friendly. Toka Mimori gets isekai'd with his classmates stuck with a useless status ailment, skill that has a trash success rate. Naturally, the goddess who summoned them decides the weakest hero needs to go permanently. Dumped in a death zone and cornered by a minotaur, Toka discovers his so-called garbage ability actually works almost every single time. Now my guy wants to take revenge on the goddess who betrayed him. This show genuinely got me off guard. The MC has actual goals, past trauma he's working through, and shocker, doesn't turn into a drooling idiot whenever a girl stands near him. The romance between him and the elf party member builds slowly through stolen glances and actual interactions, like two people who are cautiously figuring each other out. Sure, some of the tropes are overused, and the 3D CG make it look like a kid made them with a blender, but this is a solid isekai show.
俺が死ねって言って死んだんだから因果関係ぐらいさしてくれよだから動くな怪我した死ねえ動くなって言っただろ
A whole class gets yeeted into another world by a sage named Scion, who hands out special powers called gifts to most students, except for an unlucky few who get abandoned immediately. Wow, I'm really starting to notice a pattern with these isekais lately. Anyways, Yogiri Takoto is one of the left behind kids, and he wakes up mid-dragon attack having slept through literally everything. Turns out he's had an innate ability to instantly kill anything, which he casually uses to delete the dragon.
そいつの右足首を殺した練習の成果だおーい聞こえてるのか
This one's genuinely refreshing compared to the usual I reincarnated as a vending machine nonsense flooding the genre of isekai. It throws robots, Gundams, medieval kingdoms, and guardian angels into one blender and somehow makes it work. Some may call it chaotic, but hey, entertainment is entertainment. The comedy lands because every hyped villain dies within 10 seconds flat. It's a running gag that never gets old. It's kind of like One Punch Man of isekai.
だけどこのまま何もしないで殺されるなんて絶対に嫌だだから使える魔法を片っ端から試す
Why be OP alone when you can get a wolf girl? Bonanza, a humble merchant, gets summoned to the magical kingdom of Clyrode as a potential hero candidate, only to disappoint everyone by showing zero powers at level 1. His compensation, he's shipped off to live in some faraway forest. One level up later though, my guy's got limitless godlike magic. He disguises himself as Fleo and encounters Fenris, a lupine demon girl who attacks him, gets completely outclassed, and then he swears eternal loyalty.
レベルが上昇しました。レベルが上昇しました。
This show absolutely nails the cozy isekai slice of life formula by giving us an MC who isn't emotionally brain dead around his love interest. Leo actually lets the romance breathe naturally, and watching Fenris warm up to someone who showed her mercy instead of dominance genuinely makes you root for them. I honestly kinda like this vibe. Instead of another edgy show, we get some quiet slice of life moments. Prince Lloyd Salem spent his past life as a magic-obsessed commoner who could never quite crack the code on sorcery. Reincarnated as the 7th prince, he finally gets a body with seemingly unlimited mana and 0 throne obligations, meaning he can just nerd out on magic all day. Perfect plan, right? Well, ancient demon seals start breaking down, and suddenly Lloyd's borderline terrifying magical abilities are the only thing standing between the kingdom and total chaos. Now this got some unique stuff in it. Lloyd isn't your typical save-the-world protagonist. He'd rather run magical experiments than play a hero, which makes him way more interesting. Don't let the cute design fool you though. This guy will end you without hesitation. The side characters genuinely carry their own weight too. Silpha and Tao aren't just background decoration. Lloyd's family actually respects his goals instead of exploiting him, which feels surprisingly refreshing. Suppose you've been a hero king your whole life, built an entire kingdom, and your dying wish is to finally master the sword. That's English for you. Reincarnated into the future as a noble girl with 0 magic ability. She's technically disqualified from becoming a knight, so instead she becomes her cousin's Rafina's squire, which honestly just gives her the perfect excuse to pick fights with increasingly powerful opponents without anyone questioning her motives. What makes Inglis increasingly fun to watch is that she's not trying to save the world. She just wants to fight strong people and live quietly. She's basically Goku if Goku had political trauma and better fashion sense. And because this world's classist society constantly underestimates her for lacking magic, watching those smug faces crumble while getting a beatdown never gets old. Turns out my boy Momonga isn't the only skeleton lord. Ark, an ordinary guy who fell asleep mid-gaming session, wakes up trapped inside his favorite MMO as his skeleton avatar. Hiding his bony face to avoid causing a scene, he heads to the castle town to La Verte to start his adventurer career. Armed with some crazy powers, Ark explores territories, slays monsters, and pulls people out of trouble. Like I said, the Overlord comparisons are inevitable. Skeleton isekai protagonist, dark fantasy world, overpowered MMO character. But Ark is genuinely different. Where Ains coldly calculates everything, Ark just wants to adventure and help people. No strings attached. He obliterates bandits simply because it's the right thing to do, then shamelessly loots their treasures after. That combo makes him feel like a proper old school fantasy hero rather than another edgy isekai protagonist. The supporting cast, particularly the dark elf Leolota and Kitsune Ponta, also managed to keep things pretty entertaining. Who says a 30-year-old guy can't kickstart his life? Rick Gladitol works a boring desk job at an adventurers guild, nursing childhood dreams of becoming an adventurer himself. A chance encounter with dark elf Reinette Elfet, an elite member of the legendary S-rank party Orchicalum Fist, gives him that shot. Under one condition, survive their brutal training. 2 grueling years later, Rick enters the E-rank certification exam where everyone laughs at the old guy trying to play hero. This show genuinely caught me off guard. Rick's struggle hits different because his world locks magic development before age 20, meaning he's already behind before he even starts. Yet, watching this guy bulldoze through smug noble kids like the Darmsuit siblings who showed up expecting an easy punching bag is pretty satisfying. Angelica especially steals the show, going from annoying rival to important ally who can't believe Rick survived training that would kill most people repeatedly.
ナルコムパスをあの鍵叩き落としたピタンって
Take Saitama's personality, drop it into Harry Potter's world, add Black Clover's underdog energy, and you get martial magic and muscles. This show is set in a world where magical ability determines your worth. Literally, no magic means you get eliminated. This is where my boy Mash Bernadette comes in. He is a deadpan musclehead living hidden in a forest, curling weights with one hand and eating cream puffs with the other. And this guy can't cast a single spell, walks through a school full of gifted mages. Everyone's surprised when he decides to punch his way through everything. Now this is a nice premise. I mean, come on. I already told you how many stories it mixed. Besides, Mash's deadpan reactions to dramatic villain speeches are genuinely funny because the contrast hits perfectly every time. The magic system is surprisingly layered, allowing for creative battles with actual upsets rather than pure power scaling. Side characters also lean into tropes deliberately for comedic effect, and it pays off when they're bouncing off each other. It's not reinventing the wheel, but it's definitely bringing the One Punch Man energy to the magical anime genre.
こやつ何者なのだ無敵を関する私がこのようなとどめの必殺帰り込みアッパー
Makoto Misumi gets summoned to a fantasy world as a hero, only for the goddess to take one look at him and go, nope, too ugly. She strips his title and dumps him at the edge of civilization. As a consolation prize, he gets the ability to understand every language except human. Lucky guy. Turns out, being banished actually awakens insane physical and magical power in Makoto, and he gradually builds a community of demi-humans and mythical beings who like him. Tsukimichi is essentially the ugly duckling of isekai, and it works surprisingly well. Makoto isn't your cookie-cutter overpowered protagonist. He gets rejected, exiled, and still manages to build a harem. Important companionship. His companions, especially the Dryga Tomoe and the unhinged spider demon Mio, who are aggressively obsessed with him, keep things constantly entertaining, and because of this, the comedy and action balance each other out perfectly. This is one of my favorite isekai anime of all time.